Well, the day is finally here. Today is the Shark Tank presentation. But first, I want to talk with you about some good things to do when presenting to the sharks. First of all, if you're feeling a little nervous, don't worry because we have a list of exactly what you're going to present during the Shark Tank today. Remember that you'll have your poster there to show the sharks. You'll have your Lego storefront. You'll have your magazine ad, and you've practiced your TV commercial. Do you see this list here? This list is exactly what you're going to present. Basically, you just want to go down the list as you're talking and present each of the different items on the list. We're actually going to hang up this list in a place where you can see it during the presentation and where the sharks can't see it. So if you get stuck and you're not sure what to say, just glance over at the list and keep going. As it says here, you're going to start by introducing yourself and then introducing your business and what your business idea is all about. Then you're going to walk them through your poster section by section. You're going to show them your magazine ad and your Lego storefront. After you go through the whole list and perform your TV commercial, you'll take some questions from the sharks. Let's take a look at some examples from other Shark Tank presentations so we can see some of the things that are good to do during the presentations and some things that are not so good to do. When you first start your presentation, you want to start by introducing yourself. There may be people in the audience who know you, but there'll probably be some people who don't know you. I'm going to show you a good example now of an introduction, and notice how the student talks a little bit about their connection to their business and why they chose that idea.
And my company, we thought of it on the first class before he went out, and we were thinking about fidget spinners, and we were like, well, a lot of people have already made these. But then we thought, but then we were laughing about a flying fidget spinner, like a drone fidget spinner that would have propellers on each part, the center, 1 blade, 2 blade, 3 blade, and then we started thinking that may be a good idea. So that would be one of our products.
Now it's really important when you're speaking in the Shark Tank to speak in a nice loud voice. You want to speak in a voice where not only can the sharks hear you in front of you, but you can also be heard by people way in the back of the audience. Like if you were speaking in this example here, you would want this girl way in the back to be able to hear you speaking from the front of the room. Here's an example of a student speaking in a nice loud voice in the Shark Tank.
I like technology more than things that just based on random stuff. We hope that our stock will grow faster than Google.
And here's an example of where I wish the student had spoken just a little bit louder so we could hear what they had to say better. Okay, so speak loudly. That's the first tip. The second tip is you want to try to make eye contact with your audience. It can be a little scary to look out at your audience when you're talking, but it really shows confidence if you're looking at them while you're talking. Take a look at this example. Notice how the student is really looking out at the sharks as the student talks.
More like a monthly contest, you can submit your own memes, so you have a function in the website that allows you to create memes. So you can mix and match, or you can complete the completely new video.
As audience members, it makes us feel like the student really has something important to say. Now here's an example where the student is not really looking at the audience, but he's kind of looking off to the side a little bit. I wish he had looked more towards the audience when he was speaking because it would show a little bit more confidence.
And I really like businesses because you get to sell products and other stuff.
Now posture is also important when doing some public speaking and presenting. Posture means standing up nice and tall, not like shifting around when you're speaking, not standing on one foot, not like slumping forward, but standing nice and tall. Here's an example of good posture from a student who's presenting in the Shark Tank.
Game has a story behind it, but it's not very complicated. Basically, Sophie, she lives in a kingdom of waffles, and there's another kingdom of pancakes, but we'll get to that later.
Now, most important of all is the idea of stretching out what you have to say. Stretching out means, well, let me tell you what it doesn't mean. Like if you were presenting your Lego store, you wouldn't want to just be like this. Here's my Lego store, I created it, it's my Lego store. Well, that's not really telling very much about your Lego store. You want to like stretch out your answer so that you are telling a lot about the thing that you're describing. But like if I was describing this business here, I could say something like, this is Cood's shoe store. And you can see that we have our open hours posted. We're open every day between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. We have a list of different items and how much they cost. The things that we invented are called pocket walkers and water shoes. You can see the prices here. So you get the idea there. I'm going to really describe each thing that I'm talking about. You never want to like describe something so it's just like 5 or 6 seconds. You want to like stretch out those answers. Here's an example of a student doing a good job stretching out an answer.
So, I kind of got StuffStop's idea because I was thinking about CVS, you know, how they sell medicine and other stuff like snacks and candy and even makeup. So, I was thinking of that, but then, I realized that CVS doesn't have a cafe.
Now, after you present to the sharks, you're going to take a few questions from them. Now, who knows what they'll ask you? They may ask you a question that you know the exact answer to, but they might ask you a question that you haven't really thought about yet. If that happens, that's okay. Do the best you can to try to answer the question on your feet. If you really don't know the answer and you're not sure what to say, you could admit that to the sharks. You could just say, well, we haven't really thought about that yet, but we'll give it some good thought, or something like that. It's okay to admit that you haven't thought about something yet. So we're going to work until the sharks arrive. Here's what you're going to do during that time. You're going to finish up all 4 things that we have to have done before the Shark Tank first. You can see those things here. Your magazine ad, your poster, your TV commercial should be ready to go, and your Lego storefront. If you've finished all those things, then you might have some time to work on either market research at the computer, if your teacher calls you up to do that, or to finish drawing your business expansion products, the 2 new products that you're inventing. Now, if you finish the 4 things that you have to get done, your teacher will also be calling you up to practice your presentation. You're going to use the handout that we'll give you to practice your presentation, going down the list just like we talked about and touching on each part of your business. The way this will work is that your teacher will take your poster and tape it up in a different part of the room, and you'll practice your presentation. Your teacher won't bring your Lego creation over to the practice area, so just pretend that your Lego storefront is there and talk about it when you practice. Try to take your practicing really seriously. The more you practice your presentation, the better it's going to go when the sharks are here. So to review, finish the 4 things that you have to get done. If you have time, you'll work on some of those extra things. And then during this time, your teacher will call you up to practice your presentation in a different part of the room. You might see some of the sharks start to walk into the room, or audience members start to walk into the room. That's okay. Keep practicing until your teacher calls you over. Once all the sharks have arrived and all the visitors have arrived, your teacher will call you over from practicing your presentation and will assemble as an audience. Once everyone's here, your teacher will call you over and all of the students in the class will sit in the audience, and the sharks and other parents will sit in the audience. Then before we start the Shark Tank presentations, your teacher will play a video where I will be talking to the parents and to the audience just welcoming them to the class and explaining how the Shark Tank will work. Okay, so remember, if you have not finished one of the 4 things that you have to have done, work really fast and hard to make sure you get those done before the sharks arrive today. And take those presentation practices seriously. Okay, time to get started. Let's begin. Hi everyone, my name is Matt Bowling and I'm Education Director at Right Brain Curriculum. I just wanted to welcome you to this Shark Tank performance today. I also wanted to tell you a little bit about how it will work. The students have been working really hard on their business ideas and they'll be presenting those to you today. They have a business plan poster they're going to present, a magazine ad they created, even a storefront that they created with Legos. They'll also be performing a TV commercial for you that they created. Unlike the TV show Shark Tank, the students won't be asking the sharks for money per se, but we see this more of a celebration of the work that they have done. However, at the end of the presentations, the sharks will be asking a number of questions of the student presenters. Sharks, you can ask any question that you want. They can be challenging questions. The students have been preparing to answer them. After each presentation, we'll take 3 questions, one from each shark. Each of the students will be presenting, and then after the last group presents, we would love to get a photograph of the students and the sharks and the parent guests. What would be great is if during that final photograph, the students can hold up their posters, and behind them will be the sharks, and behind the sharks will be the parent guests. Thanks so much for participating in our Business Sharks class, and good luck to all the presenters. Thank you.